Welcome back, and today we have something that was promised to you a couple of videos back, and that is the new video card for that gaming system that I said we were going to turn that M82 into. So this is the card we settled on. This is a GTX 1650 low profile. This was picked for a couple of reasons. One of them being that, quite simply, low-profile cards are kind of hard to get your hands on, and this is one of the few that's there. This card does not require supplementary PCI Express power. And when I looked at my other low-profile options, which would have been a 1050 Ti low-profile or a 1030, I really wasn't saving anything by going with the older or the less powerful cards. So a 1050 Ti costs $157 today on Amazon and is just as expensive, if not more, strangely enough, on eBay as a used card. And the 1650 cost me $159. So I paid an extra $2, and depending on what you were doing, the benchmarks that I saw, just taking a look through things, doing my comparison shopping, were between 5 and 20% faster on the 1650. So I'm not going to leave performance on the table, not for $2. Now, if it was I could get a 1050 Ti for $100, I would have gone with that. Because that's still a relatively respectable card. And there's no reason not to. But for $2, I'm taking the newer card. Part of the reason we went with this compared to something less powerful like a 1030, although that would have been still acceptable, once again, is cost. The 1030s were over $100 when I looked at them. And there is no touring powered 30 series card that I saw that I could get my hands on easily. I think there's an OEM variant, but I couldn't find any available. So I would feel bad moving a 1030 forward into a new tower, a year and a half or 2 years from now if we upgrade. But a 1650, 2 years from now, I'm not going to feel bad about continuing to use. And really, up until VR becomes a problem, I don't expect this to be a particularly large handicap for my wife. So let's go ahead and open this up. We picked the MSI simply because that's what was available. I honestly would have preferred a card from someone like Zotac, but I didn't have any option to purchase one. So we got a quick user guide, which is one of these little multi-fold booklets. Package contents, graphics card, and booklet, system requirements, PCI Express, a monitor, and Windows 10, which I don't think is accurate. I think it might work with 7 or 8. And a screwdriver. A little hardware install guide, which is just going to tell me to put it in the computer. Yep. And then, come on. Ugh. Some information. This must be a generic guide that they include because it actually mentions supplementary PCI Express power, which on a card like this, there isn't any. So let's go ahead and get the card out. And that is a solid feeling mass. I think this actually weighs more than the card in my workstation. So we have an absolutely massive aluminum looking heatsink for a card this class. And I don't see any signs of copper, so that might just be a solid aluminum block, no vapor chamber or anything. Oh, I do see a couple of heat pipes. And man, that is a worse display output option than the 1050. I'm stuck with HDMI and DVI. That's it. I'm actually very disappointed in that. The 1050 that I was looking at had DisplayPort on it still. So I don't know why MSI is handicapping us there. That said, HDMI should be fine. I believe as long as this is the sufficient revision of it, we can get 120, 144 hertz on it. We can do variable refresh rate and all that jazz. So it looks like there's a screw there. Is this bracket not even secured? This bracket isn't even secured to the card. So the bracket is secured to the, and I'll zoom in on this in post. The bracket is secured to the actual interfaces that have the video ports on them, the DVI and HDMI. There's a screw there, but it's not actually screwed into the PCB. That is, on a $150 card, that is worse than my $120 network adapter that we covered recently. What the hell? In fact, if I look at another video card, this is an older card. This is the very bottom of NVIDIA's Quadro range for that generation. I still have an actual mount point onto the PCB for this bracket to help with the stress. Even here, this is a Quadro 600, so this is a 400 series card. Or something like this ancient Fire Pro, I have a pair of screws. Now, what I can't, make sure that those are in frame long enough, what I can't figure out is why, when I physically have the screw hole in the printed circuit board, MSI would willingly choose to include a bracket that doesn't have that. I'm appalled. I unfortunately don't have many other options than this card for that system. If I take a peek here on Amazon for a 1650 low profile, I get this one. I get one from Gigabyte that I can't order. And I get one from Zotac that I can't order. So and the one from Zotac, or the one from Gigabyte, actually has all the video outs I would have expected. There's no picture of the backside of the PCB to tell me if it's screwed in properly. But what the hell? So I'm kind of, I'm going to say I'm very disappointed in MSI for this. And on their full-size cards, I can actually see a picture of one of their full-size cards. They do include those screws. So why the low-profile card, which has less ports to count on and has less of everything to count on, really, got shafted there when they actively planned for it at one point is beyond me. Okay, so rant over. Someone feel free to send that to MSI. And I'd love to hear their response. I might actually send it to them myself as well. But this is just, this is a disappointment, and this is a sufficient disappointment to make me say, don't buy this card. If you can get your hands on the Zotac or the GeForce ones, or sorry, Zotac or Gigabyte ones that have a better port selection and potentially the correct screw pattern, go ahead and get those. Well, unfortunately, there's not a whole ton to look at right now, and we'll get to more in the gaming review. From a performance standpoint, I hope I'm not further disappointed. I don't expect to be. It's still a 1650. I'm going to go ahead and install the low profile bracket on and off camera because I got to go find a socket to take those out. since it's literally held in by the posts that hold the DVI connector in. But I just, wanted to keep everyone up to date, and this is what we ordered, and what the hell. I do want to go ahead and thank our patrons who helped make some of this content possible. And I want to thank Electrix for providing our opening and closing music. And if you have any questions like, why am I this upset about a couple of missing screws, feel free to ask, and I will answer to the best of my ability. And hopefully the next time you see this thing, it's going into a system and working as intended. Because if it's not, I'm actually going to be just further irate. Thank you for watching.